Welcome back to Inside the Heat. Zydrunas Ilgauskas made his way from playing on the national team in Lithuania to the United States, becoming a well-known center in the NBA. He was drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he was a starter, an all-star, and even had a chance to play for a championship. Z and I continued talking more about his basketball journey as we took a stroll down South Beach. So, Zydrunas, this is not a bad place to be at any time. What do you love about living in the South Beach area?
The weather first.
Yeah.
Living in Cleveland for so long and coming from Lithuania, you have the beach here, beautiful people, all the restaurants. I mean, it's a night and day.
What is your perception of the Heat fan now that you are a Heat player?
Just passionate, just being out in the city and, seeing the communities. A team like this comes probably once in your lifetime.
Yes,
sir. They just look forward to continuity, not just one great year, but 3 or 4.
Or 6
or
9
6 or 9.
Until I retire. Zydrunas, now we're settled down here on the beach. Let's talk a little bit more about your experiences over in Lithuania. You played for the national team. What was that experience like for you?
It was great. I played when I was younger. I played with Sabonis and Marčiulionis and all those guys. And it was just great. It was something that you can't replace.
The great thing about those national team experiences, you get some lifelong relationships. Tell us about your relationship with Zydrunas.
We just, actually I met him when we were 7 years old. We actually started basketball practicing together. So, we were friends first, and then, basketball kind of made the friendship stronger. I think all of us have the one special friend, and he's mine.
You mentioned one of the guys that you played with, really one of the staples of the Portland Trail Blazers when he finally made it over here, and that's Arvydas Sabonis. Why was he your role model? And tell us a little bit about why he was so great.
We were born in the same city, so I watched him when I was a little kid. Players like him don't come around very often. His size, his passing ability, and most importantly, his basketball IQ. He was years ahead of all the other players that he played with.
With the 20th pick in the 1996 NBA draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Zydrunas Ilgauskas from Lithuania.
Let's move up to you being drafted by Cleveland in the NBA draft. How did all that come to pass?
You never know. You never realize, because back home we would see one NBA game a week, and there'd probably be like a game of the week. So it'd always be like a triple overtime. People dunking over people, just doing ridiculous stuff, and you'd be like, there's no way, I can't do that. And then, just got lucky, I guess, got drafted by Cleveland when I was 20 years old, and here I am.
With your apprehension of if you could compete with those guys, how great was it to be one of the young players that really stood out? You were on the all-rookie first team.
It was awesome, I got lucky, I had Mike Fratello as my first coach, and Mike was tough on me, but he was fair, he gave me my shot.
Ilgauskas the fadeaway. Ilgauskas waits for his turn, blocked again by Akeem, tips it up in the air, and it goes in.
Zydrunas was becoming a well-known center in the NBA, but he shared with me his ongoing battle with injuries. Zydrunas finally had major surgery in 2001 that required re-breaking his foot and then reshaping it. It was painful, and oftentimes he didn't know if he could make it through. But finally, he returned to the game and was back better than ever. So much so that he was an all-star in 2003.
It was almost like a dream, because when I went through all my injuries and all the downtimes, all I wanted to do is just to start playing again. I didn't dream about being an all-star or starting or anything like that. I just wanted to get back on a basketball court, and I'll never take anything for granted again in this game, because it can get taken away from you so fast.
Let's fast forward a little bit to 99, 2000, around there. Right down the highway, you start hearing this name. Some kid in high school, LeBron James. Can you think about the first time you heard about him?
I had some friends that lived in the Akron area, and they kept telling me, there's this kid in Akron that is unbelievable. He's going to be an NBA, he's going to be this and that. I know how hard it is to play in NBA. Now you're telling me that there's some 14-year-old kid that's going to be, a star for years to come. So I was very skeptical, But when we got the first pick in the draft, it was a big break for the franchise, for all of us, changed our lives.
Coach Riley always talks about threes, putting three together. You guys were able to do that with yourself and Gooden and LeBron. As you guys were forming that, could you see what was coming down the road?
We knew that we were going to have a shot. You know, every time you have a guy like LeBron on your team, if you can surround him with the right pieces, you're going to have a chance to win a championship. We came close a couple times. You know, we had some great teams in those years.
Zydrunas and the Cavaliers made their first trip to the NBA Finals in 2007, only to lose to the Spurs in 4 games. 2 seasons later, Cleveland played a tough Orlando team in the 2009 Eastern Conference Finals, but lost in Game 6. It was clear that something needed to change. As with any team that's as successful as you guys were, you're just trying to find that next piece that's going to send you over the top. And in the summer of 2009, a guy a lot of Heat fans are familiar with, Shaquille O'Neal comes in. Your role has to change a little bit. What was the conversation to you from the organization on what had to change with you and your role?
You know, I understood that I was going to have to come off the bench, and you know, I was fine with that. At that point in my career, I just wanted to win a championship. You know, and Shaq was good for us that year. You know, he was a professional. He played hard for us. We just jumped on a very hot Celtics team and just couldn't pull it through.
And in that entire experience, you had one of the most interesting trade dynamics I think anybody ever had. As you were traded to Washington, you never played for them, and then you became a free agent, and back to Cleveland you go. You had probably one of the most heartfelt receptions when you came back. Where did that seem to fit in on those really warm, fuzzy moments that you'll never forget?
It was a special moment, a very special moment. Probably happened once in your career. I love that city, you know, it's like a home to me, and you know, the fans have embraced me over the years, so at the end, it was, I think, the right choice.